Robert Merdlacci of the Mindshare Learning Report, Canada's Learning and Technology e-magazine. And welcome to This Week in Canadian EdTech, a very special edition. I'm here at the ICDE World Conference in Costa Rica. I'm honored to have a Mindshare Learning moment with Sebastian Fournier from UNED on creating a countrywide TV channel for education. This has been a while in the making. Thank you for joining me this afternoon.
Thank you very much, Robert. And it's a pleasure to be with you, saying hello, Pura Vida from Costa Rica, and a country that welcomes people from all around the world. And we're very glad to have you here.
Well, we're honored to be a media partner here to share the story about innovation in learning across the globe, and open learning and online learning. And it's never been a more exciting time to be in education. You've been interviewing people all day, so I thought we turned the tables a little bit, and you can relax a little more, and I'm the interviewee. Talk to me about UNED and what that acronym represents.
Yeah. So we are the Distance Learning University of Costa Rica, Universidad Estatal a Distancia in Spanish. And we have one of the most beautiful missions an institution can have. We have to deliver education and culture to everybody that has any problem to be educated, to access education. So we have in the jails, for example, in the prisons, we have students. We have mostly women that are head of house. So we have a lot of women that have had the problems of violence, or that maybe got pregnant very young and they couldn't study. So they are students of us. We have students in the most remote areas of this country, places you have to go by boat. If you go to Barra del Colorado, which is like the like the Amazon of Costa Rica, you have to go by boat. We have students there.
Amazing.
We have our First Nations, as you call it in Canada,
right.
Our Aborigines. They study with us more than in any other institution. So that's our people.
So inspiring. And I had the opportunity at your exhibit area to connect with your partners, your colleagues that run the incubator. They shared stories about how they created a 3D printed mask for one of the premier soccer players in the country because he had a broken cheekbone, and they helped solve that problem. And they're creating 3D animation. And for the blind student, they created 3D printing insects so the blind student could feel and get an understanding of what insects actually are feeling like, instead of feeling real insects that might bite them. I'm hoping to visit the university tomorrow.
Yes, please.
It just sounds so innovative. What drives your innovation?
Yeah, I think our goal, our mindset all the time is, how can we make life easier for these people? How can we support them to grow? And the conception, for example, in terms of media, is not only we are gonna create a TV channel to deliver knowledge to the whole country, but we are using, imagine a university. Costa Rica is 51,000 square kilometers, so it's a small country. I'm sure it's smaller than any state
you have
in
to
Canada.
visit Canada. We're about 5,000 kilometers across.
Yeah, so Costa Rica is, if you put a ruler, it's like 300 kilometers from one corner to the other. In one day, you wake up in the Caribbean. In the night, you are in the Pacific.
It's such a beautiful country. I am envious, and we are going to go explore the jungle and the beach on the weekend. So after the conference is over, but yes.
No, what I wanted to say is that in such a country, we have 38 centers of the university around the country. So you can imagine, in a relatively small territory, we have many centers all around. So in every center, we want to gather groups of production of students from all around, and they can create content with their visions of development, of what is happening in their community, to create, like, for example, a news bulletin, but the journalists will be our students, creating journalism from the community.
And it is about storytelling, isn't it? That's the rage today. That's how kids learn, by creating, like we are using the tools to enable the conversation and inspiring learning.
Yeah, so we are taking, we remember, all of these great history of participatory radio, community radios,
Mhm.
and so and so. We want to bring all what we learned from what participation can create and bring that theory to a university media in the 21st century. So we broadcast on air, on antenna, for the people that lives in places that are too far where the internet connection is not the best, but we also have all the connection with the AI tools, internet, and everything. So we make a blend between old and new media.
And it's you're making a really important point that sometimes old things could be new again. So old technology still could be relevant. It's not, we move on to the next thing. Television is a very powerful tool and very ubiquitous. I heard a stat from one of your colleagues at the exhibit today: 85% of students here learn by the mobile phone. 85%. That was staggering statistic.
And even I've been a lot to the Aboriginal communities in Costa Rica. Some of them are extensive territories where you have one or two phone towers, and so you have one phone tower is around 6 kilometers wide, the coverage.
Right.
So it's two spots of coverage, and the rest of the territory has no coverage. And even in those sorts of areas, you see the students in the phone climbing up a tree and connecting to the classes. So if we can also
That's
deliver
incredible.
to them a signal that they can take free to air, we easen the use of data. So you don't have
Right.
to watch the class using data. You can watch it in the television free to air.
Well, you are inspiring me to create something like this in Canada. We don't have a national education television station, and people have talked about that, and or radio for that matter. So, and we do have challenges in remote areas, with the First Nations and remote communities that are in the far north. So, two things: I'm going to invite you to Canada.
Oh, please.
Okay. During the warmer climate. Unless you want to experience winter, I could teach you how to skate. I'm a hockey player, so I could teach you how to skate.
I can survive. Definitely, I can survive.
But thank you for inspiring us and sharing your journey in helping your country learn and stay innovative and transform and educate the next generation.
I think the biggest lesson of this is what social media has taught us is people wants to be producer. We want to be prosumers, not consumers. So always, especially in the areas of the far north, which is the
Right.
equivalent to our rural areas in Costa
Right.
Rica, is put them in the center and make them produce. The first thing we do with any community is we do a workshop where they create a news broadcast with news that are relevant to them.
A teacher, PhD candidate professor now, shared with me the learning that she experienced sitting at the back of the class in a high school English class. And what you just said about uh, producers,
Yeah, prosumers,
prosumers, is what it's all about. That when they're creating, they're learning, and it reinforcing their learning. So with that, Sebastian, thank you so much for your time
Thank
this
you
afternoon.
very
I'm going to
much.
let you get back to your interview. That was Sebastian Fournier from UNED here at the ICD World Conference in Costa Rica. My name is Robert Merlanchi of the Mindshare Learning Report. Be sure to check out www.mindshare.learning to get your latest issue. And until next time, stay healthy, stay safe,
Pura vida.
and keep the learning curve steep. And pura vida, I learned.